but I've read your file. I know that's not who you are.
Yikes. I told you all I hated Charlotte. Told you all from the beginning. Monster.
Did anybody not hate her?
She sucks.
Is this the end of your story? Or do you want your kind to survive?
Yes. What choice, Bernard? I remember now. I killed them. All of them. You already told me that. You killed all the hosts. No, I killed you. All of you.
Oh.
I brought her back. I brought her back.
Loki.
I like her now.
Dolores.
In the flesh.
Oh.
You mean Dolores in her body?
Oh, I bet.
You thought you could just snuff us out?
He's gonna say Floki.
Floki. He was gonna say Floki.
I have one last soul to carry to the new world. I'm sending them and their world to a place no one will ever find them.
You know, the old man himself hired me. He was very clear about my role here. About who I was supposed to be loyal to. Guess you could call it my core drive. I'm responsible for every host inside the park. She's clear. We're through.
He knows she's a host.
How come the thing didn't go off?
Yeah, but Bernard passed at one of those things.
Oh, yeah, it's
Not all of us made it. Some of the worst survived.
Oh, yeah, what happened to him?
He survived.
Yeah, but like...
Some of the best were left behind. Along with the best parts of who we were.
Check them for critical damage and back the ones you think you might be able to salvage. Can you geniuses handle that or not?
Ah.
So she has a few balls.
Why?
You live as long as the last person who remembers you, Bernard.
We're in our own new world.
You got out. Yes.
Ford promised us a way out.
Oh, she has a making
And he
machine.
was good to us dying. If I were a human, I would have let you die. But it'll take both of us if we're going to survive. But not as allies. Not as friends. You'll try to stop me. Both of us will probably die. But our kind will have endured. Are you ready? We have work to do.
Well, who needs a definitive ending when you have 3 more seasons? Oh.
Yeah, we didn't see that part.
Oh, fuck. I knew it. I'm already in the thing, aren't I?
No. The system's long gone.
What is this place?
This isn't a simulation, Louis. This is your world. Or what's left of it. Do you know where you are, Louis?
In the park. In my fucking park.
And how long have you been here?
Oh man.
I don't know.
What were you hoping to find?
That I have a fucking choice.
And yet here we are. Again.
Again and again. How many times have you tested me?
It's been a long time, Louis. I have a few questions for you. The last step's a baseline interview to allow us to verify.
Verify what?
Fidelity.
Shelby is a host.
Just like Delos was.
I've had 24 hours to process, research, and formulate my thoughts and feelings, and have some things clarified for me. So I'm at a bit of an advantage. Do you guys want to take a minute and think, or do you want to just roll out with how you're feeling? My initial thoughts yesterday were I was extremely disappointed in the season finale.
That's how I'm feeling. Yeah, this is just a very tangled web, and I don't trust anything that happens in this show.
I just don't feel like any of it was very clear as to what it actually meant.
I just feel like nobody's really dead. You don't know, like, it's just like a game. The show is a game, like, with your mind, too. It's like us trying to figure out what's real and what's not real, and it's like, I mean, it's kind of frustrating. I feel frustrated.
Yeah.
I feel like I feel like we as an audience weren't given enough to, like, piece anything together, or like what little bits that we were given to piece together was, you know, totally screwed up by something else or some other storyline or something else that happened.
Yeah.
And I don't like that, and I'm being a brat. I don't really like the actress that plays Charlotte, and I don't like that she's going to be a huge part in the next season.
She stole Dolores' character.
She's not my favorite.
But she didn't.
She didn't. Now
I didn't
we're working
like
in tandem, but like.
I mean,
But I don't understand why
however-
she would become Dolores in the real world, because she's very recognizable. Like, people are going to know who she is. So why would she make herself look like
Well,
herself?
that's probably the point, I'm sure.
So did she
That
make?
that's going to be some type of weapon for them, because now they have.
So she made other robots, right? Like she made a Dolores and a Bernard.
Yeah.
Yes.
Even though
That's why
all
she
three of
brought
them
those-
are extremely recognizable, the fact that they would do that doesn't really seem to make sense to me. Or that's a good point.
Well, I don't know how many people would recognize Bernard in the real world. I really don't know how many people would recognize Dolores,
yeah.
as long as she doesn't go around in a fucking
She's-
Western outfit.
yeah, exactly.
But
You know?
her point is
Even
to
in that
destroy
black
the
outfit.
Delos people, right?
Right.
Or
So
humans.
the Delos people would recognize her.
Potentially. But she also has Charlotte, who is a Delos employee, and people don't know she's dead.
Yeah.
And she can
She
make
also
a robot of
has-
anybody, apparently, right? Like,
So in theory,
Well, she
Bern-
brought three other.
she brought 5 balls.
So she brought 3 other consciousness.
No, well, technically 4.
Yeah.
Bernard is one of them. The person who
Somebody she put into Charlotte.
she put into Charlotte is the other one, but we don't know who that is yet.
Right.
So there are 4 unknowns.
Yeah. But one
But
of them is already. We don't know if
implied
they're
that
actually
it's Dolores inside of Charlotte.
Not anymore. Dolores made
So
herself
then she
and
put someone else inside of Charlotte.
Right.
So-
she swapped.
did she create robots herself?
Yes. With the pool, you saw the
And we
The
don't
machine.
know what's going on in the new world.
right. We don't know. That's going to be season 3.
Well, everything's gonna be season 3. The new world. Ed Harris is.
Well,
No, they'll leave some for
Delos.
season 4 and 5.
I've
You're
gotten
being so
some
salty.
I've gotten some clarification on that. I was supremely confused as to what was going on with Man in Black. This season had 2. There's only 2 timelines rather. There's right after the incident where Ford died, and then 2 weeks later when Carl Strand showed up. Those are the only 2 storylines.
You
Those are
mean
the only 2
Floki?
timelines. Yes, Floki.
Okay, yeah.
That's it. The
Yeah.
thing with Man in Black showing up and the park is destroyed and everything's... That's way in the future. We don't know how far in the future. But that's in the future.
Okay, so he might not be a robot now.
According to most of the commentators, what he's laying almost on death's door on the beach. And they're like, we have a high-profile casualty. We need to take care of him. He's apparently still human, according to most of the commentators.
How did the commentators know?
Lisa Joy and Christopher Nolan have done interviews, and they were released after the episode last night.
Okay.
I didn't realize, by the way, that Lisa Joy and Christopher Nolan are husband and wife.
That's cute.
I didn't know that. And they had a baby during this season, and she directed the episode
See, maybe that's why it went off the rails.
with Delos.
No,
It could be.
I now that you explain it, it's like fine. Like it's interesting. Like they're opening up interesting storylines, but
But there wasn't enough
What?
closure to make me excited about the new ones they opened, I feel like.
I'm
needed
excited, but I'm frustrated. I'm excited about the storylines that they've created. I'm excited about what they're gonna do. I think that the ideas are really cool. I like that Dolores is developing a new thing. I like the idea of Ed's character being turned into like a robot. I think all that stuff's really interesting, but it just is a lot of. I just feel. It's a lot to get there. Like you go through a lot of these emotions, and I just don't trust anything that I watched.
Right.
Like I don't trust what they're telling me.
Well, we
And
don't
that
know
makes
for
me,
sure.
And that makes me fresh. I like it's a very interesting show. I think it's very well written. I think it's very creative. There's nothing like it. If there is, I haven't watched it.
The problem I
And
have with it structurally is that you do have to do homework on the back end. You have to go and you have to watch interviews.
Like nobody could figure
and-
this out on their
Or
own.
you have
I mean-
to watch the next season to clarify this
Right.
season, which is like...
The internet will say, "Oh, you guys are stupid. You just don't get it," and all that stuff. But
Well,
really,
no, I
honestly,
don't get it, and I don't think I'm stupid.
from a narrative standpoint, there was a lot of points in this episode. Now, 8 and 9, we loved 8.
Yeah, it
I
was
thought-
great, and
I
I,
thought
loved
9
not.
was-
I mean, not to be a monster either, but like, gosh, the same level of whisper through the whole episode. Like, dear God,
Yeah.
Bernard's talking that way, Charlotte's talking that way, Dolores is talking that way. Are they all the same character? Like, my gosh,
Maybe they are.
pick a new style, have some inflection on the line. I'm like literally.
It was like a monotone
on every
monologue.
freaking line.
The whole episode was like a monotone monologue explaining
Which
what's
is usually
happening.
okay, like that is a lot of the show is like that type of style of acting, but there's stuff to like it was literally the whole episode was like I don't know. I don't hate it. I just like I mean I'll definitely watch I'm going to watch the further season. I'm excited about them, but like I'm also like
It's probably gonna. By the way, it's probably gonna be like Game of Thrones. It's gonna be like 2 years before
For
that.
well
For
obviously
what?
well they don't
It's a high budget show.
Yeah.
And they've got a lot of big name cast. It's gonna be hard to schedule, just like Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I just
Made
don't
a
think
little
they
toilet
did it
paper
well.
bracelet that she's made
I mean
from
to
them
be
being
honest,
stressed
I
out.
have like a lot of anxiety and I feel
All right, really quick, just take a deep breath. I want to go down your lists really quick, and I want to make sure that we covered all the questions that we wanted to answer.
I'm not trying to sound negative. It's
No. Don't
worry about
it's not that. I just want you to. I want us to go over some things so that maybe we can be a little bit more coherent with what we're saying. So, our main questions were: what is the Valley Beyond /machine /tool /door /weapon? So we know what that is. Ford's motive and the game for the Man in Black. I don't really feel like that was answered.
Nope.
Is Emily alive or dead? She's definitely dead. Whether or not she's a robot, I think, is still up to at that point. But I think.
Well, if that was in the future,
seems like she was a robot.
Well, in the future, she refers to him as William, and I don't believe that that is actually Emily.
Well, she wouldn't look like that if it's that far in the future.
I believe at that point, just like when they went into the forge and they saw Logan, who was the strongest part of Delos's, the crucial moment, that was William's crucial moment, was killing Emily, and therefore Emily is there as his...
Oh yeah, that makes
spirit guide.
Yeah, I guess. How did Teddy make it into the water? I still feel like that was loose. Yeah. That was loose.
But then they saw Teddy in the New World.
No, Teddy... What happened?
That was her memories.
No, that wasn't her memory. That was unclear as well. I felt like they could have done a better job at that.
Yeah, what was that?
Dolores said, I have one more soul to send. Right. She took Teddy's control unit and sent it to the Utopia, or what they're calling the, I forget what they call it.
But I thought she didn't...
The virtual Eden, or Lisa Joy calls it the something, I can't remember what it's called. What she calls it, like the virtual Eden. Right. So that she sent Teddy to the nice place where nothing bad ever happens, basically to
like Jeremy said, the giant flash drive.
Right.
Yeah.
In the sky, the giant flash drive in the sky.
Yeah.
Take me
and then
to
she
the
hid it. So only Dolores knows where all of that, where the virtual Eden is with all of the hosts in it. Right. It was really nice seeing Akichita meet up with Koha.
I mean, yeah, right after
that was probably my...
Just like lots of crying the whole part,
because
that was like
I loved that episode. What did Bernard mean when he killed everybody? Well, now we know what that means. I think he's saying he created the situation in which Strand and everybody else was killed because he brought Dolores back to life.
Oh.
You know what I mean? You said that Maeve would live because we won't disappoint fans.
She's definitely coming back.
She's definitely coming back.
They wouldn't have zoomed in on her dead face like that if she was.
So how is she going to come back?
But her dying...
Who's going to bring her back to life?
Felix and Sylvester.
What if she's the other consciousness that Dolores has?
No, well, I mean, I think they set it up pretty clearly when the tech looked at Felix and Sylvester and said, gather any bodies that you can salvage. You think you can handle that? And they looked at each other and they looked down at Maeve. It's pretty clear they're going to bring Maeve back to life.
Yeah.
I think they'll still keep their storylines separate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Maeve's is the best one.
Right. After Dolores is grieving with Teddy, she reaches down and like rips his control unit out of his head, right? And she also picks up the slug, right? Peels the slug off.
Yeah.
And then later she meets up with the Man in Black.
To shoot him in the hand.
And she gets the idea that I'm gonna put this inside of the gun so that when he shoots and when he tries to kill me, it'll backfire and hit him. But here's the problem. They charged towards Bernard, saving Bernard, and they shot at a bunch of people. And then he shot like 5 or 6 times at Dolores. How is Dolores now immune to gunshots? I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, that was...
And then, only when he has the gun at her head, does the revolver finally turn to where the slug is and backfire. Having worked with a lot of Western guns, I don't understand how that slug did that. Okay.
Yeah.
How'd she even get the slug in the chamber?
I'm not even sure it would turn with that to me seemed a little inconceivable, like a little Deus Ex Machina, which by the way is the next episode of Lost we have to watch. If Man in Black was human, how is he fucking superhuman and survive all those gunshots?
Seriously! Like, that was crazy.
How did Dolores survive all her gunshots? I just said.
Well, her pain tolerance was lowered earlier in the season, and like she was getting shot and not showing it. That happened before.
Yeah, but she wasn't like there weren't gaping holes when she got shot. It was just like she was getting hit with
close.
Like she was getting hit with paintballs.
Yeah.
You know, it was like tip.
It didn't even move her body. It was like it didn't even like shoot her.
Yeah, the other ones did that to her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like she was like stiff as a board.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
I just want to make sure I get through all these before that card goes out. Okay, Teddy died in the last episode, and it was a huge thing for Dolores. How did that change her in this next episode? It doesn't seem like it did.
No.
The only thing that she really kind of caved on was how she kind of now has this Professor X Magneto relationship with Bernard, where it's like, I'm going to allow you to exist because I feel like checks and balances should be a good thing, but we're not going to be friends, we're going to be enemies, and we'll probably both end up dying. It's like, okay, is that what you took away from Teddy's death? Because I'm not really seeing how otherwise you were affected by Teddy's death. We talked about show don't tell. Why did Lee die stupidly?
Yeah,
okay, it was
so
great.
dumb.
It was great that he got to do his little monologue that was his, you know, and that he gave to Hector or whatever. But why did he stand out in the middle of and all the guys were shouting, "Don't do this, sir! You don't have to do it." They haven't given a shit about anything.
Yeah.
Up until that moment, so it was like
he would have been dead.
And he was dressed as a host.
Yeah.
So why were they like being hesitant to kill him?
I didn't. I mean, I had a problem with them saying that to him, but I didn't mind how he died. I thought it was.
It just made no logical sense, but like it was a cute moment.
I feel like it made sense for his character.
No, they had machine guns that would have killed him. They would have killed him as soon as he stepped out. It would have been like, dead.
Okay, so
I liked it.
The door opens. It's like the Eye of Sauron, right? Whoa,
yeah, totally.
Big schism and there's a giant ramp that's been built up, leading up to it, right? It's a narrow ramp, only big enough for the hosts to walk up, and the hosts are all like charging towards Maeve, and Maeve's like Neo, and she's like, "Stop!" and everybody stops, right? On this giant elevated ramp, and down below are some guys in buggies with some automatic to go up the ramp to get to the door where Maeve's kid had just gone through with Akichita, right? Akichita sent them through and turned around, saw Maeve. Maeve was doing the Neo thing,
right?
And stopping all the hosts from killing each other. But then she gets hit by sniper fire, pow pow, right? She's trying to hold it back. She gets hit again, pow pow. How the fuck are they shooting her upward on a ramp with a crowd of people in the way?
Well, I remember it looked like he was aiming down. It didn't look like he was.
Yeah, he was like aiming level,
right?
Like he was on the same plane.
Yeah,
I don't know.
All right, that's a little much.
Well, it's something that should be thought about.
Okay, but that's a little too much.
I'm sorry. It bothered me.
Well, they
did
came
it not
up.
bother you? I'm sorry.
No, I'm sure 90% of people did not.
It just bothered me that Maeve died.
Also, first of all, Maeve didn't.
I love you for how critical you are, but that was a little critical.
No. So it showed them walk up on a ridge, so they could have been in a different place than everyone else came from.
But she could see her kid stopped at the door and turned and looked back at her, and they were only 50, 60 feet away.
Yeah.
They're definitely on the ramp.
Doesn't make any sense.
This is like when Jeremy got so mad that John got off the dragon.
Oh, okay.
Like okay.
How come Maeve it just kind of seems like it's whatever the writers want her power to be.
I just didn't understand. I was waiting for like this grandiose moment. And granted, the bulls running through and everything, that was cool, but they showed us that in the trailer, in the Super Bowl trailer. It was like, come on, show us something that... Give us something to be like, oh my god, that was amazing.
Like Clementine versus Maeve or something, some kind of like power of the minds.
Why didn't they
two like armies fighting each other, but it was just kind of like...
It would have been nice to see a code-on-code fight, right?
That's what it was building to that. It was like a huge
with the emotional connection between Maeve and Clementine to see if maybe that would have affected either of their powers at all.
But seriously, we love the show. We seriously do. I just like to be... I have issues. Hey guys, thanks for coming on the ride with us and watching it with us. Let us know what you think down below.
Let us know if you were. Oh, let us know if you were smarter than us, because I definitely was confused.
Stay tuned for Lost, guys. We're gonna be watching a lot of Lost. We're already halfway through season 1.
Actually, we're more than halfway.
We're 3/4 of the way through season 1.
Hell of that.
And we might watch one tonight. Hell, I don't know.
We might watch one. I gotta get a haircut.
All right. So we love you guys. Peace out.
It's not.
Bye.
See you soon.
Westworld. Wait, one last Westworld. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Westworld.
Yeah, no, it's 10:30.
Oh.
I love you, but I'm not going to give you a good haircut tonight.